Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I know this is not the typical video, but that's okay. I'm on vacation and I was not planning on posting. I'm taking some time off because I burned myself out. But the opening ceremonies at the Olympics happened and I shared my opinion about them on Instagram and I got in a lot of trouble. I lost thousands of followers within hours of posting my opinion. I got text messages from friends that were nasty. I got nasty emails from some of my followers calling me filthy and a predator. But I know that the majority opinion is not always right. So instead of me apologizing, I doubled down and went on my friend Luke's podcast and debated this for about 15 minutes and really secured my position and made it clear. So I wanted to make sure that I posted my position on the opening ceremony in its full entirety on my YouTube channel, so my followers who are a little bit confused and want to understand it more have the ability to do so. Now, I love you guys. We're allowed to disagree. That's the whole point of having these conversations. But if you think that you follow me and we're going to agree on everything, then you mistook me for the wrong person. So I hope that you find this debate enlightening. I hope that you can understand more where I was coming from as more facts come out. Now, I have since been vindicated on this subject, but I'm not here to say I told you so. I'm here to present to you both sides of the argument through a debate. So let's watch it.
But to me, this was a major kind of cultural, symbolic ritual that really did kind of put a lot of the brazen propaganda in our face. And I think that's why it was distasteful to so many people. That's my perspective.
No, I mean, I watched it. I didn't like it. I think that especially the balls hanging out is fucking ridiculous. So people have every reason to be angry about that.
And criticizing that isn't homophobia.
No.
It's like, keep your fucking balls in your pants, asshole. And
we
stop
don't even
talking
know
to
if
that child.
he's gay.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even know if these drag queens are gay because being a drag queen has nothing to do with your sexuality. The one thing I will criticize, though, about the backlash around this, and I got a lot of shit for this on my Instagram, is that, and if you do go on my Instagram, I have proof of what this was actually depicting. If this was actually depicting the Last Supper, it would have 13 people on it, not 19. It wouldn't have the crown of Apollo on the person in the middle. It wouldn't have the Greek god Dionysus in the middle. It's referencing a French painting called The Feast of the Gods, and this is confirmed in their interviews. And it was essentially people saw it and they thought of the Last Supper because that's more popular than that French painting. Now,
that French painting was inspired by the Last Supper, though. You know that, right?
It was inspired by War of the Gods. It's Apollo in the middle.
No, but that painting was inspired by the Last Supper. The artist that drew or that painted it thought that it or said that he was inspired by the Last Supper.
Yeah, there's a connection to that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a connection, but at the end of the day, I think it's speculative to assume that this was a diss on Christians, and I don't believe in speculative outrage. I think that that's a little bit irresponsible, especially for a lot of influencers.
Art is in the
that.
eye of the beholder, as they say. So it's kind of like if you look
we
at
got
that,
we got the image pulled up
Well,
here.
the only thing similar about it is a table and people.
yes,
Yeah, so tables are offensive?
no.
I don't get it. I don't get it. There's 19 people. There's 13 people in the Last Supper. They're not
I
posed the same way.
I know, but
Jesus
you're-
doesn't have that crown around his head. It doesn't make any sense. If you're looking through a Christian lens, you're going to see the Last Supper.
Right.
If you're not a Christian, you're not going to see that.
But the
Speak into the mic, Clint.
The star of the show, the morbidly obese.
She came out. She came
Yeah,
out. She was
things.
like, I'm non-binary, fat, and Jewish, and I'm proud of it.
Proud.
They're always non-binary.
But she posted on her Instagram saying like, we've gayed up the religion, or what? I can't remember what the fucking
She
quote
said,
was, but
I stalked her religion because she posted two things. One was in reference to the photo that I'm referencing, and then the other one was in reference saying this is the new gay testament.
yes.
Now, I think that you can...
think that's not an allusion to?
I think that after the backlash, a non-binary bitch is going to get on there and rub it in your face. And I
Maybe.
don't
To
think
get
that
more
that
clicks,
means
to
that
get
doesn't,
more
that doesn't
attention.
mean that the creative director was inspired by the Last Supper. It just means that this bitch is fucking crazy. Honestly, I hated the whole performance. I think it was terrible. I just think that it's very speculative, and for people to just hop on the bandwagon for speculative outrage, I think it's irresponsible.
Well, I don't think that it was speculative outrage. As someone who was speculating and outraged, when you're
It's not speculative.
Well, no,
I
it is.
think-
It is. But you're saying
yeah.
it's irresponsible. I'm saying if it looks, I mean, I'm telling you, I saw it happen, not live, but like as soon as the clip came out, and I saw it, and I was like, that's fucking crystal clear. And I'm not a Christian, but I saw it, and I was like, that's the Last Supper. Like,
Well, I did
100%.
too, but then I looked more into it, and I was like, wait a second. okay, the Last Supper. Why is there not 13 of them? Why is there so many? What is on her fucking
That
head?
makes sense. Like, if
Why
they were
is
really
Dionysus
trying-
in the middle?
Yeah.
If they're really trying to do the
Well,
Last Supper
if
and
you-
get at
well,
Christians,
the
they would not be
the
doing it
original
this
clip,
way.
but you don't have that dude there until like 20 seconds later.
So if
when
you look
it's
at
that-
if you look at this this photo, because we have the photo that you're kind of explaining here.
No, it's not that one.
That people are
one
saying
is
was
it?
the Feast of Dionysus, and this is I think allegedly the picture here. It's a lot different
Does it
than of
look like
course
that?
than of course this
no,
one here.
That's not the right picture.
If you can't, send me the right one, and we'll
Yeah.
pull it up so people could judge it for themselves.
One religion.
Yeah, we have the photo here that
Yeah.
you pulled up here, so people could judge it and kind of see it for themselves here.
You can see Dionysus,
But they don't
in the
have.
middle.
She doesn't have the crown either.
Yes, there's
Or
a,
is
there's
there?
a there, yeah there is.
I'm gonna try
It's
to
a
get there.
shining light around
It's
the
a
head,
painting, yeah.
around
You
Apollo.
can see it.
I don't see any drag
And then-
queens.
Yeah, that's a valid.
I don't see
valid
any.
criticism there.
I see some titties. See some ass.
I don't know
But-
why Dionysus is blue. I'm curious about that too.
There was also a New York Times article that came out saying that they apologized for their rendition of the Last Supper. So there have
No,
been
they
peop-
didn't.
Yes,
If you
I read it.
read their actual statement, they apologized for the way it was perceived, not because it was inspired by the Last
No,
Supper.
well, you should read the New York Times article because I
We can pull-
I'm telling you, I've been
Pull it
arguing
out,
about this
pull it
all
out.
day.
So have I though. That's the problem.
Well, it also believes on what your algorithm is kind of feeding you and what it's
Yeah.
telling you as
No,
well.
but I mean, I've been-
the facts do matter here.
Yeah.
It looks more like the Last Supper than it does the one that you're saying. That's all I'm saying.
How? Point the similarities out right now.
Motherfucker, you can overlay. Look at that shit. That's unbelievable.
Point the similarities out. I
Hold
want
on.
to. I want to know. Besides the fucking table
The only thing you're pointing out is that there's more than 13 people. Aside
and
from
the
that, it
crown.
looks just
No,
like
the
it.
crown represents
this
that little halo around Apollo. Dionysus in the middle with the grapes is that blue guy. There's
showing
more
the
people
other
in
one.
this one. Even the fact that there's kids because there's
going back and
baby
forth.
angels flying around in this one. There's kids in that one because of the baby angels.
But wouldn't they have like horse dudes like right in front here?
Centaur.
Drag
Yeah,
queens,
centaurs.
they count.
And a peacock. There's a
They're
peacock.
kind of the horse dudes.
Was the blue dude in that painting?
No,
Yeah,
the blue
that's
dude was in front.
Dionysus. Bitch is Apollo.
Apollo, the Statue of Liberty.
All right, so who's the blue dude?
Dionysus with the grapes, the god of wine.
Yeah.
Why is he blue?
I don't know why they made him blue, but they tweeted a picture as it was happening and said Dionysus. If you look at it, I have that picture too of the screenshot of the tweet.
But also their artistic style is they want it to be provocative.
Yeah.
I'm just saying to discount the fact that there's a potential that in
Oh,
fact,
I'm not discounting that.
In fact, the creative director was trying to take a jab and then immediately migrate back into Greek or Roman. I don't know. I can't.
And
prove it.
I'm not arguing against that possibility. What I'm solely arguing against the fact that
That
there
people
is
said
more
with confidence.
similarities to the artwork that I presented than the Last Supper. And I think that a lot of Christians, outraging Christians, doesn't benefit them as individuals, and I don't like seeing people manipulated.
So I agree, but I was more offended by her than everything else.
Honestly, the entire thing was terrible, and
Yeah.
it was not entertaining. I don't understand what it had anything to do with the Olympics. I don't know.
What's the explanation for the pale horse?
Apparently,
yeah.
it's hold
Some-
on.
some
I actually
other
there is some
Greek
French ravine god. I don't fucking no. It wasn't Greek. It was actually like something having to do with the French ravine.
Okay.
Like,
The Four Horsemen.
Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Almost all religions take from one another. There's aspects
Yeah,
of Christianity
absolutely.
that took from Roman mythology and things like that, and Greek mythology.
yeah, but
So-
behold the pale horse with the wings behind him. I mean, that I thought was pretty on the nose.
Well, it wasn't
but
pale.
they-
It was silver.
Yeah, it was. It was silver.
Is silver?
But
Does
it's
silver count as pale?
I
Well,
think so.
In biblical terms, they use different descriptions because it's a different.
I mean, if I was a
languages,
Christian,
translations
I'm
to-
sure I would probably see that and be like, "Well, fuck, the world's about to end."
I saw
Yeah.
both, and I'm not a Christian, but I do come from America where there's a lot
Right.
of Christian influence. And I saw, and I was like, "That's a fucking pale horse," and that's the Last Supper. So I understand why people would jump to that conclusion, but I also I totally agree with you. I don't know definitively what was in the
Right.
heart of the man who was crafting the production. It's just like. I just wish that they would be a little bit more cautious.
I don't know. I feel like other religions-
Are you
intentionally
joking, Clint?
provocative.
This is obviously done on purpose. There's no way that this was just a happenstance. The guy just did a bad call.
Well, he's claiming that very much it was not in
I'm saying,
Directed at
I
Christianity.
mean, I would say for sure that this has a lot of thought put into it.
well,
I think a lot of
yes.
thought was put into referencing that Greek art that I shared, but I also think that a lot of thought was put into making it as weird as possible. Also, making sure drag queens were in it.
Yeah.
It was more about it was a DEI statement
Yeah.
of a Greek
Yes,
piece of art.
See the
the drag
defense-
queens next to children was weird, and that's what I didn't like about it. I was like,
Balls
okay, these
next
are
to children.
because these are
Apparently a wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, bullshit. I don't buy that at all. That guy literally probably propped his balls out. As he's
Yeah, he's
seen,
probably an
as he's like
exhibitionist.
literally fucking
Yeah.
seen like playing with the child, hanging out with the child more than all the other fucking performers out there. There's a lot of sick fucking people out there. I take a lot more offense to that, especially with the larger symbology of dudes living out their sexual fantasies with children around that they're kind of hyper focusing on and making the center of their attention as they're dressing up in their sex gear.
And to his point, it's like the drag community is not a sexuality.
Yeah.
But there are many people that participate in it that it is a sexual kink. So if you're performing or participating in kink behavior and you have a fucking kid there and you put that on national TV, let's just go back to what this is. This is the opening to the Olympics.
It's so fucking weird.
It's supposed to bring together the world in a meritocratic endeavor of athletic achievement. It doesn't have anything to fucking do with putting drag queens around children. It's just super bizarre. But yes, it is the French, so maybe
It also makes gay people look bad because people automatically associate drag with being gay, and you think these other countries who gay marriage is not legal there. They're not friendly for gay people. You think they're going to watch the Olympics and think this is we should allow this.
The
in our
whole
country.
world is watching.
Yeah.
Like people in the Middle East are watching. It was probably banned in like Saudi Arabia. I love the corporations when they have their kind of signal for Pride Month, except for the ones in the Middle East, which is pretty interesting.
One thing I will say though is that I think the tolerance of Christianity is admirable, and I think rather than making Christians more reactive, we need to make other religions more tolerable. I don't think that fighting fire with fire is always the best idea. We don't turn Christianity into something that we don't respect anyways. I don't like the sensitivity of other religions because it shouldn't be that way. I don't like that we can't criticize Islam because I criticize Islam.
Well, I agree with that, but here's the problem. You have increasing adoption and popularity when it comes to these other religions that you're talking about, which are not as tolerant as Christianity.
Yeah.
So it's like Christianity in this environment, can it sustain itself and can it thrive? And I'm not sure.
I think as a Christian, you have to rely on your faith to believe that. And if you're not a Christian, then maybe not. Maybe that's your perspective. But I grew up in a Christian home, and I believed that the word of God would carry through the generations regardless, as long as you follow it. So if your word is telling you to be tolerant, the solution is not to not become tolerant.
Yeah, well, but I don't think that this is a
Or
matter
to
of
become
tolerance per se.
overreactive. I don't know. I think that we shouldn't be trying to make Christians be more sensitive.
Do you think that they should be tolerant of having children around drag queens?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying calling this the Last Supper and saying that it is that a silver horse is just because it references in the Book of Revelation, where you can find a lot of things that reference in the Book of Revelation. If we have a full moon that looks partly red, it's the Book of Revelation. So it's like you can cherry pick different parts of the book, and if you're looking through that perspective, you're automatically going to think that it's targeting you. But I don't think that the outrage for those specific subjects, because people aren't as outraged about the balls being out as they are about the fucking Last Supper, and that's what's concerning.
Or the fat.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah.